You can run your Terraform apply again, and we'll see. I'm going to also check the code you sent to me. Maybe there's something in it. I know it was complained about your I was expecting that it might be your security groups, but Hello, Alex. There's sound. We're just not speaking.
I'm sorry.
No, I was talking to somebody else. His name is Alex.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks like you're still creating your database.
And I'm also looking um for the AMI that we created from the last lecture. So see, I'm looking for it.
So that will be in your variables. Check your variables. Okay. You probably it'll be in your keep scrolling down for your auto scaling group right there.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Do you check whether you have an RDS instance running in your console? You have to go to the RDS service. Okay. It's still creating it, just taking time.
Okay, so
Hello, Mike. Hello, Alex.
that's the AMI.
Okay. So now you can see it's failing. It says the load balancer you are trying to create already exists.
Hmm.
So maybe you created maybe
I
you
think
created you have a load balancer in your account that you created manually. So you go and delete that load balancer, then run Terraform apply again.
okay. Um,
Yeah, it'll be under EC2. Mike, we are working on Alex. Alex is working on his Terraform project to deploy a dynamic website, and he's having some issues somewhere after he applied his Terraform code to create his infrastructure. So we are just troubleshooting it to see where the issue is. Okay. So Um, Run Terraform apply again. Hello, Ahmed. How are you?
Hi, Aziz. I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Yeah, I was really happy when I saw this link.
Yeah, where were you on Saturday?
To be honest, I work night shift, so my shift kind
Uh,
of changed. So every
okay.
time I come back, I just sleep. I barely
Oh,
remember to join classes. Anytime I see link like this, I'm always excited to join.
okay. Oh, cool. Well, thanks for joining. Yeah, I want to start trying to go live maybe like every night if I can. So that way I can catch anyone that's having issues during the week and help them troubleshoot. You know,
Yeah,
just,
that's amazing.
yeah. Yeah. Mike, do you have experience with Terraform? Okay. What about AWS? Or is everything new to you? Okay. Is it something are you trying to, oh, okay, you know more of Cisco. So I noticed some people that has some type of IT experience always want to get some cloud experience too. So is that something you are doing, or you just kind of like follow cloud stuff just for fun? Yeah, I think you should. I think you should learn. I mean, it's definitely a good skill. Knowing about cloud computing and how to pretty much build applications in the cloud is definitely going to be a valuable skill set that you can add to your Cisco skill sets. Do you know how to start or where to start learning? Hello, Mr. Larry.
Yeah, Mr. Aziz,
Good evening.
how are you, sir?
I'm fine. You?
Very good.
Mr. Aziz,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I have a side question before he finished launching the application.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
So I have potentially an interview next week, Monday. In fact,
Hmm.
I've had a couple of interviews, but I don't know sometimes whether to request to share my work in the past or probably it's not really necessary. What could be the potential tip, especially to showcase my project in an interview?
Uh, you mean to share your projects during your interview?
Yes, like when is the best time to do it, or it's probably not the
Uh,
best.
Mention it during the interview. So at some point when you are introducing yourself, and when they open the floor for you to introduce yourself, you can mention it there that you also have some of the past projects you've worked on that you would like to share with them. If it is something they are interested in, then they will let you know.
Perfect.
Because they might have their own agenda, right? And which they will want to stick to. But at least when you tell them that, most of the time they always let you. they always let you share it, but they might just probably, some of them might tell you, oh yeah, sure, I would like to see, or at the end, they may also leave some time at the end where you can share your projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But the best time would be during when you are introducing yourself.
Okay. Yeah, we should talk more about this as soon as you're done helping out.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, have a good night.
Okay, so pretty much everything is
Okay.
set up.
All right. Try to access your site now. Let's see. Oh no, your target group was failing, so let's check your target group. That was where the issue was the last time.
Yeah, it's still failing.
Scroll down. Scroll down. And drag that drag that line. It's 500. So 500, so you're not having the same issue you were having before. So 500 means that something is wrong with either your servers or your database. Is usually in any of those two. But I think so the 500 just means that there is a misconfiguration somewhere on your server. So your infrastructure is provisioning, and your infrastructure, it seems like Terraform applied everything. So this issue you are facing now is most likely related to either the configuration of your AMI or your database is not configured for the application you are trying to deploy. So the issue is somewhere there. Okay, what we can do is we can try to, let me see the AMI you are using. Can you go to your Terraform code and get the AMI? Then we'll see where that AMI is in your console.
That's the one.
That one, copy that AMI ID. All right, do type Command F and paste that AMI there. Let me see if it's the same one. No, so type Command F on your keyboard. Or are you using Windows or Mac? I think you're using Mac, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's a Windows.
It's Control F, sorry. Then paste and yeah. Okay, so that's the same AMI. Let's try something. How are we gonna test it? Yes, the issue is with so when at the end of the project, you did this project and you can confirm that your AMI is properly configured, right?
Yeah, it was working.
Okay. What about the only other thing we can check is your RDS. Your RDS, the snapshot you are using. Because it will be one of the two. Which snapshot are you using? So you have to clean up your snapshots for your project so that way you know which one it is, because you have a couple of snapshots that kind of follow the same name. So you may think you will remember which one to use when you are working on your Terraform project, but in actuality, you probably won't remember, and maybe you used a different snapshot from the one you configured for your AMI. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I will say how we can decide we can find the snapshot you are using now is go to your Terraform code and copy the ARN of your snapshot for the RDS instance. So scroll up. No, that's your SSL certificate. That's not. All right.
I think
So
that's
when you created the scroll up, so your snapshot identifier is there. It's the dev. But when you created the project, did you? Okay. I know how we can find it. This doesn't have an EC2 instance connect endpoint. So let's create an EC2 instance connect endpoint. Then we would use it. We need to SSH into your EC2 instance. Then we can check what is configured on it. That way we would know. Because I think that's where the issue is coming from.
okay.
Do you understand what we are doing? Since you launch your EC2 instance,
Mm-hmm.
I'm suspecting that your EC2 instance does not have whatever database credentials that you configured in your env file is not the same as the database you are using. So we need to find a way to SSH into your EC2 instance and
Okay.
check what configuration is in your env file.
Okay.
Yeah. So the best way to do that is let's just launch the EC2 instance connect endpoint. So let me give you just a second. Okay. I've sent the code for the EC2 instance connect endpoint to you in Slack.
Just copy it or
No, put the file in your project. So you can either copy the code because it's not even that much long of a code, right? So you can either create a file in your project directory and copy the code in this one and put it in that file, or you can move this file. No, so copy the code if you want to do it that way. Open it and copy it.
copy link to file.
No, open that file and copy the code in it. So you see your cloud thing there. So click the download on the cloud thing to download the file. Then go and open it on your computer. Then you can copy it from here. You have to copy it with the everything in it. You didn't copy everything in it.
and have it as a
Yeah, create a file here. Call it EC2 instance connect endpoint, but short is EICE.
that's TF.
Yeah, AICE.tf. Yeah. And this is the, so just remove the project name for now. So on line 6, remove just leave the EICE, but remove the environment and the project name. Remove the brackets too. I think you were naming, no, you need the quotes in there. It's a string, so you need the quote, but just remove the environment variable. Yeah. So I think you were naming your stuff blue, so you can probably name it blue EICE or something. Okay. So then we need to create the security group for it. So I'll send you the security group. Is okay. I sent you the security group. So put that in your security group file. The end, you can paste it at the end. All right. Then remove the that too, the variable in the environment. Remove the dash too. Okay, that's fine. Then scroll up a little bit. Let me see how you are naming your VPC. Maybe you named your VPC something else. Scroll up. Okay, you have the same. So AWS _ VPC ID. Okay, so the only other thing we need to do is scroll up to your web server security group. Copy that ingress on line 86 to 92. So make sure you copy everything, including the space. The way you copied it, when you paste it, is going to give you an error. It's going to indent it. So copy, yeah, start from there and copy everything up, do it to the ingress. Including that space, you have to copy that space too. So just bring your mouse to the, to the left. Yeah, that's fine. And copy it, press enter twice and paste it at the bottom of that.
Copy it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then press enter on line 92 and paste it down there. Press enter and backspace. Enter again and paste your. Then the ingress needs to be, so here for the web server, we are adding an ingress rule to allow the EC2 instance connect endpoint to be able to connect to it. So you need to change line 100 to the ID of your EC2 instance connect endpoint. So the value on line 100, right, will be the same way you referenced other security groups. So it will be the resource of your EC2 instance connect endpoint dot the reference name dot the ID. So remember, we just created the EC2 instance connect endpoint in the EIC file. So you need to copy the reference name and the resource type and the reference name from here. Then that's what you will reference in that security group. Security group. All right, save it and run it.
And Terraform apply.
Yes. You didn't save all your files. Save all your files. Okay. So on your security group line 143, let's check it. Okay, save your file. Did you save all?
Yeah, I did.
All right, do Terraform init. So in your security group.tf, can you rename it and put like a dash in between the security groups and the TF? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, I see that it's right there on line 143. Remove the variable thing there. That's what it's complaining about. Remove the dash, the $sign too, and all that stuff. All right, can you scroll up again? Let's check the other one. Maybe we did the same thing. So scroll all the way up. Oh, wait, I think we just added the ingress route. This was the only one. It's fine. So save your work and run it again.
And also we have a second project with Terraform. If I'm having the same issue, should I do the EIC.tf and update the security group?
Oh, wow. I've been speaking on mute this whole time. I was
Yeah.
wondering what was going on. Like literally, I've been speaking on mute. I didn't realize that I muted myself. Okay, sorry. So, it is saying I was saying run this again and see what was going on.
Run Terraform apply.
Mm-hmm. So I think I know. And type yes. Okay, so go to your securitygroups.tf. Where is it complaining about line 65? Scroll up to line 65. Okay. Your web server security group, updating security group, try security group, invalid group ID. Scroll down. Scroll down. You're scrolling up. Okay. Um, security groups. So updating security groups, ingress rule, authorize security groups rule, invalid, malfunction, SG. Okay. So it is saying that for your EIC security group, why is it web server security group, AWS security group, web server security group? Oh, okay. So you put the wrong we put the wrong reference in there. So on line 100, it should be your EC2 instance connect endpoint security group, not the resource. Understand?
You're talking about
Yeah.
this line.
Mm-hmm. We were supposed to put your EC2 instance connect endpoint security group, not the EC2 instance connect endpoint.
Okay.
So we need to reference the security group we created for the EC2 instance connect endpoint. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So the security group is here. I think you either add it at the bottom or at the top, one of those two, but check the bottom first. Now keep scrolling down. Scroll all the way down. It's right there. Line 142, you copy the resource type and the reference name. That's what you need to reference on line 100. All right, save your work and run Terraform apply. Okay. Now you can go to the console and use the EC2 instance connect endpoint to SSH into one of your EC2 instance. Select one of your EC2 instance by checking the box next to it. Click connect. Select EC2 instance connect endpoint. Scroll down and click connect. All right. Now change your directory into the into the HTML directory. So a CD space
I'm sorry.
CD. Sorry, that's my. So the command is CD,
CD
like C and D.
or CMD.
It's CD, like change
Oh,
directory CD
okay.
space / var / www / HTML. Press enter. And then ls. Press enter. Then you need to, there is a .env is ls-a. So type ls space -a. Press enter. And you need to cat what is in your env file. So your env file is there. So type cat space .env.
Can you repeat that again?
It is cat space .env. Press
Enter.
enter. Yeah. And scroll up here and check your RDS credentials. Scroll up. You can see your database credentials is not the same as the database you are currently using. So that's where the error is coming from.
So where I'm looking for the line.
It's right there where it says DB host.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So Hopefully I didn't delete it.
Check your RDS DB snapshot and see which one that one is. What is the name of your can you go back to like the console again and check the name of the RDS instance? No, the where you SSH in your env file. It's so you need to look for the one that has the endpoint of the one that has and snapshot that is named dev RDS DB.
I think it's that one.
Okay, select it. All right, copy the ARN and replace the ARN in your Terraform code with that one. And also change the name of your copy it and go and replace it in your Terraform code.
I think it might be the same one I'm using.
Replace it.
So
And change your line 65 to the name of the same name you configured. So one thing I want to point out is when you guys configure, when you use an RDS instance to create a snapshot, right? Then you use the snapshot to launch another RDS instance. The point of using a snapshot is so that whatever we've already put in that database will remain there. And we can just use that snapshot to spin up a new database very quick. So this means that whatever credentials was already configured from the database you used to create the snapshot will already be in the snapshot. So if you called the first database that you used to create the snapshot dev RDS DB, in order for the endpoint to be the same, so basically when AWS creates the endpoint for the RDS, the AWS use the name of the database, the instance identifier, and some random number like you can see there. So you can see there it would be, well, you won't see it here, but in the endpoint you will see it. So basically whatever name, if you want to keep the same endpoint of the RDS instance, whatever name you call the original database, that's the same name you have to call the replacement to keep the same endpoint.
yes. And let's see.
I run Terraform apply.
Aziz,
Yes, sir.
do you mean that the same name we have to name the snapshot, the original name of the database, and then we name the snapshot the same name of the original database name?
So when you name the snapshot, the original name of the database name, so that is just to help you identify it when you are trying to use it. Because as you can see, he has a lot of snapshots, not a lot, but like couple snapshots in his thing. And we always think we will remember, but we won't remember. So when you name the snapshot the same name as the database name, that is just to help you identify it.
Okay.
But when you use the snapshot to create a new database, if you want to keep the same endpoint as the original database, you have to name that database the same name, not the database, the instance identifier. You have to name it the same name.
I have a question. So we did the EIC and updated the security group because of that mistake.
Huh?
I said, did we did the EIC, that TF, and we on the security group, we also had another ingress. Is it because of that mistake I made? We did all that?
No.
Okay.
So anytime you deploy an application, right?
Mhm.
An application, you have to connect it to your database.
Okay.
To connect the application to your database on your server, which is your EC2 instance, there is a file in there that is .env file. In that file, that is where you enter the credentials for your database that you are connecting to.
Okay.
So when you were having the issue, I told you that there's probably something wrong with your database information you've entered. So we need to verify what information you configured on your env file. Your server is in the private subnet. So in order to see what is in your env file on that server, we have to connect to your EC2 instance that is in the private subnet. So the easiest way we can connect to it is to create the EC2 instance connect endpoint that allows us to connect into it. Then when we connected into it, you printed the content of your env file, and that is how you saw the credentials you configured on it.
Okay.
So we only created the EC2 instance connect endpoint to SSH into your server so we can review the application code, the code for your website that is on it. So, but Alex, there's like two. I was talking on mute when you asked me that question. There are two things to consider when you are working on the project. So I would say um just from my assessment of where you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, the first thing you need to understand is how the application works. You know, that is the first thing you need to understand. And that knowledge comes from when you complete the project using the management console. So that is that is the first part. Then what we are doing in Terraform is we are just using Terraform to automate the things you already know from completing the project in the management console. But I'm still seeing a knowledge gap from, I don't think you fully understand how the application process works. And I would say at this point, when you finish this Terraform project, you should pretty much go back to the projects we deployed in the management console. And I have the assignment for those projects. So try to complete the assignments. Because each project is meant to build your knowledge as you go.
Mm-hmm.
So the type of knowledge gap you are having in the Terraform project here, those are things you should have learned from the previous project. So I mean by, okay, one thing to consider, and if you want me to make you a list of things that I want you to pick up from the previous project, and you can answer it and respond back to me with an answer of those things, I think that will help you. One is when we install our application, what dependencies does the application need for it to function, right?
Mhm.
Once we install those dependencies, where do we have to put our application code for us to be able to see our website? And how does our website connect to the database? Things like running your commands, like being comfortable with running Linux command, right? Changing
Mhm.
directory, printing the content of a file, all those stuff we did in the previous project. So you should be very comfortable with those things before you do the Terraform project.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think, and I've the assignments that I gave you for those projects, try to complete it before you do the Terraform project.
Uh, well, the thing is, I've done those two on the management console. So the thing is, I am trying to do um the the project as fast as I can. That's why I'm having the gaps that you mentioned.
Yes. So I'm glad. Thank you for saying that. But one of my favorite quote is, and I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, is the fastest way to get to your destination is to go slow. So for me, I would tell you personally, I think you'll find more quality and you'll find more value in the project when you take your time to go through it, as opposed to just trying to complete the project.
Yeah.
I always say, and maybe, and please pardon me for a lack of a better word, I don't care that you guys complete the project. Like, let's say you complete this Terraform project to the end and you show me your website and you say, oh yeah, this is my website. I really don't care for that. I care that you understand everything you did in that project, that you can explain it back to me. Yes, I understand what we did here. This is how this works. This is how that works. So for me, it is not about who's the first to complete all the project. I would rather take someone that it takes them 6, 7, 8 months to complete all the projects and they understand everything they did, as opposed to someone that completed all the projects in like 3 weeks or 4 weeks or in a shorter amount of time and they don't understand what they are doing. So yes, I've always said it and I've updated the beginners course. I think you should watch the Getting Started on AWS. I updated everything in there. I think you should go through it so you can see some of the updates I've put in there. I'm saying when you skip the project or when you rush through it, it is only going to prolong the process of you learning what you need to learn. It won't make you learn it faster. It will just prolong it because then you'll be having knowledge gaps that would often lead to you doubting yourself whether you can do it. I've seen this happen to people. So I don't want that to happen to you. So it is more important to finish one project. If that project takes you as long as it takes you, that is fine. But I'm also guaranteeing that when you understand this project, when we did it in the management console, you already know about 70% of it. Then the other part is just making sure that your Terraform code, like we are, the only issue we should be troubleshooting here is your Terraform code configuration. And let's say it's giving you error, this is not expected an ID here. But troubleshooting why your application is not working, that is a knowledge you should have picked up from when you deploy the application in the management console. For those that are listening, do you guys understand what I mean?
Yes.
Absolutely, Azu. Yes.
Yeah. So at the Terraform stage, we are not troubleshooting why our application is not working. That knowledge, when you guys are working on your application in the management console and you are deploying your application, those are the issues you run into. You CD into your HTML directory, you check your env file, make sure your database credential is configured, make sure you install PHP. Those are the knowledge we gain from that project. But then in Terraform, we are only automating what we learned from that project. So I don't want you guys to have a knowledge gap of still not understanding. When you, for example, when we saw the target group is 500, well, then that should let you know that, okay, there's some type of misconfiguration on my server. How do I check? How do I rectify that? Excuse me. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying not to be harsh, but I also want you to get the best out of it. I'm telling you, the information works. You just have to really, really take your time and understand it. And if there's any other way I can explain things to you, or maybe there's some assignment you feel I can give you to help you understand each of the application before you come to Terraform, let me know and I'll be willing to help to present those assignments for you. But do you
Okay.
understand what I mean? But I
Yeah.
think at this point, your knowledge is more, where your knowledge gap is you should spend a little bit more time in the static website. And I can, once you are done here, I'll share my screen and I'll show you the project that I'll say spend more time on, the static website one and the dynamic website one, the one you are deploying with Terraform. Make sure you understand those two projects 100%. Complete the assignments that I gave you for those projects then before you start Terraform.
Okay.
Yeah. So now if you try it, I can assure you that it will work. So first refresh and check your target group. So under this database, let's check your database. So here, let's check click on the dashboard again. I'm not sure why we are saying that. Click on the dashboard and select your DB instances, right? Remember I said how our application connects to the database is in the application code, there is a file called .env. In that file, that is where we put our database credentials, right? So now if you open your RDS database instance identifier, right? And you go to the configurations tab, right? So here you want to make sure whatever things you see here, scroll down. All right. You see over there, there is the master username. That is what you called it. Right next to your mouse. Yeah, don't scroll right there, right? Your password, you wouldn't get your password because you should have saved it, right? Your database name is on the left side. That is what you called it. You can see it there, right? The database name. So if you move your mouse down, not that one. Yeah, don't scroll. Yeah, right there where your mouse is. Your database name, DB name. Okay, right. So I've showed you your username, your database name, and if you scroll up, select connectivity and security. Under endpoint, that is your endpoint. So what I'm telling you is go to the tab where you SSH into your EC2 instance. No, leave, okay, yeah, that one. Then review the credentials. This is your ENV file. Review the credentials you have on your ENV file, right? And compare it to your actual database and see if it matches. If it matches, that means that you've configured it correctly. If it does not match, you will have an issue because again, your ENV file must match exactly what your database credential is. So don't scroll, right? Your database credentials are right in front of you over there where you have DB host, DB stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm saying compare each value to what I showed you in the RDS instance. So start with your DB host. That will be your RDS endpoint. So all right. What about your database? DB database. DB database, that's your database name. That you will find it on the configurations tab. Okay. Yeah, your database name is there. You just need to make sure the name you are seeing there is the same name as what is in your env file.
Yeah, pretty much everything matched.
No, your username is wrong. Your master username here is like a uppercase and lowercase, and in your env file is a lowercase. It's all lowercase, so it wouldn't work. And I think it has one. Can you go back to your RDS instance? Yeah, it's not the same master username. So the issue you're having now is you don't know what the snapshot you used to complete the project, because with the snapshot we thought that was it. That's not it. So my thing is you just have to delete all the snapshots in your account. My thing is you just have to start with your Terraform code is fine. What you wrote is fine, but your database information, we don't know which snapshot is what. So, but even for me, the knowledge gap you have is still telling me that you need to spend more time on the static website project and the dynamic website project from the management console. And you should complete the assignment before you start Terraform. So it could be any of this. So I would say my suggestion is delete the snapshots. I will delete at least, yeah, those ones. Delete just those ones. Alex one, that one too don't work. Delete that one. Don't delete this one yet. Delete that. The ones you've selected, delete them. So once you select them, click actions and delete. All right. So then you have to try to sort between this one, which one it is. But I would just say redo the project. Your AMI probably works. So all you have to do is go through the project and yeah, you just have to, but there are ways I can tell you to do it, which if I was working on it, I know ways I can resolve it. But for me, I just feel like I want you to understand what we did in those projects. So rather than helping you fix it, I think you should just spend more time on those projects until you understand it. Then that would really help you troubleshoot how you can fix things like this.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much like you said, I'm gonna do pretty much work on it again and go back on the previous lectures.
Okay, let's do it this way. Why don't you work on the first project, right?
Mm-hmm.
The static website project, right?
Yeah.
Then, but before that, I want you to watch all the videos that I did they are not long videos, but watch the videos that are in the getting started. the getting started, which is the first one in your membership account.
Mm-hmm.
Then once you are done with those, complete the static project. Then you and I can meet, and I will kind of like give you like a mock interview on that static project. Then you can
Okay.
tell me what you know about it, how the application works, and things like that. Then we'll move on from there to the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. Trust me, the issue we are having now is not on Terraform. It is on those projects, which is why I said those projects are really the foundation to everything else you're going to do. If you understand those projects, I'm telling you, you already understand about 70% of the information.
And so pretty much on the information, I have to pretty much delete the RDS and pretty much create another snapshot just to configure the whole project.
I would say those projects, you would have to, that project, yeah, you can delete your snapshot from here, but I'll say those projects you have to complete them again.
Yeah.
And the reason is not because I'm sure one of these snapshot works, right? But for me, I just want you to complete the projects again to understand the application and how to configure it.
Okay.
So I'm telling you to complete it again for your understanding, not it's not because we can't fix the one you already did now, but I care more that you understand what you are doing and how the application works. So yeah. So I'll say start with the static website one. Then we'll move on to the dynamic one. Then after that, I guarantee you that you will see what I'm saying by the time you redo the Terraform project. Okay. All right. Is that it, or do you have any other question?
No, I don't have any question. I'll just take your advice on how to restart everything.
Yeah. I'm telling you, take your time. I guarantee you, when you take your time, you will get to your goal much faster than how you are doing it now. Because the way you are doing it now, when you go too fast through the projects and just trying to complete it, what will happen is you'll get confused a lot, and at the end, you won't still learn anything. And that can often, I see it all the time, then you start doubting yourself whether it's something you can learn. But I'm telling you, and anyone can learn cloud computing as long as you are willing to take the baby steps, learn one concept and continue to build on that concept. And that is the best way to do it.
Okay. All right. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
No problem. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So who am I
Mis-
helping next? Yeah, go ahead. I'm not sure who. I think it was Mr. Larry was here. Ahmed, you didn't have any question on troubleshooting, right? Is this something you can discuss here, or you just want us to discuss it one-on-one?
No, we can discuss it here. It's not about troubleshooting, actually. It's about the interview
Okay, sure.
and general tips about interview.
Okay, sure.
So far, we've done a lot of projects, and they are very, very instrumental to any environment we may find ourselves. And sometimes we don't even know, personally, I don't know whether to bring it up during interviews, especially technical interview. For instance, the one I'm about to have is going to be technical for
Okay.
about an hour.
Okay.
And obviously, I've scripted a lot of things that are in line with what you've taught us. As a
Okay.
matter of fact, I even went a little bit beyond.
Mm-hmm.
But the most important thing is that I can talk about them. I
Exactly.
also feel at the same time that showing is better than telling.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you don't know which one to do, whether to tell or to show. I just want a general tip on how to go about it by your own experience in recent times, because
Yeah.
things must have changed. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you are presenting, so do you have an idea what project you want to present? That if given the opportunity, the ones you will present.
So, for instance, according to I had a initial talk with the recruiter who said, well, the hiring manager is looking for someone with a very Terraform skill, strong Terraform skill, and a bit of coding. So that aside, I felt like, hey, I've done a couple of Terraform projects, and I've done the one with Docker, the one with CI/CD with using GitHub Actions. But the most important thing for me is to show him my Terraform skill. Let's say using Docker, the one that we containerized for the rental project. So I plan to show him that one, just to keep it simple and show him how I went about the configuration. That is one thing I have in mind to do.
Yes.
But the main concern I am having is, when do I bring the conversation up? Is it ideal to bring it up? Have you done something like that in the past, or how did you go about that?
Yeah, I've done that. So the best time to bring it up is in the meeting, in the beginning when you are introducing yourself, and you just say, and I do have some projects that I've worked on in the past that showcase my skill sets in Terraform, Docker, containerization that I would like to present. And then they will let you know whether they will want to. Like they will let you know, sure. Yeah, at the end we'll save some time to present it. Or they might just even say, yeah, sure, go ahead and let's see. Right. And sometimes they may even base your interview on that, because my first interview that I did, that was what I did. I just told the manager I have like a project to present. He said, sure. He asked me to send him the link. I sent him the link, and he actually based the entire interview on that application, and he was asking me questions. So what's the reference architecture? Why did you do it this way? Is there a way you could have improved it? But everything is just based on who is interviewing you. So it's very hard to tell how it is going to go when you ask them, right? They may say yes, they may say no. Or you can also email whoever is going to interview you, their name is going to be on the invitation meeting. You can reply all to the invitation meeting, and you can write like a short, detailed summary of you, that you like to present some of the projects you worked on that showcase your skill sets in this area during the interview, at least to give them a heads up. And you can even give them present in the email. You can even include like the link to the repo, so that way they can see the code before the interview. So there's so many ways you can do it. There isn't like really like a right or wrong way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll say I like the idea of responding to the email and just saying, in addition to our interview, you like to also present some of a project you've done, right? Some of the projects you've done in the past, one of the projects you've done in the past. You can include your reference architecture, right? Of the reference architecture of the project. You can include the code to the repository and whatever other relevant information you want to add. Then just leave it up to them. I think that they might be interested in, and just say, okay, you know what? Yeah, about this project you mentioned, let's see, so
Okay.
I think that's what you should do. Then also, in addition to that, during your interview, when in the opening, when you are introducing yourself, and you can also follow back up on it and say, I sent an email with some of the projects that some of the technical projects I've worked on in the past that I would like to showcase, if that is something they are interested in, just to remind them again, in case if they don't say something about it during your interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been interviewing recently, or what is your experience with the current situation of the market?
I haven't interviewed for a long time now, because I'm pretty much fine with my job. So, but there are jobs. Like, I mean, I still hear people getting jobs every day. There's still a lot of jobs out there. There might be less remote job now than we had during COVID, but it's not to say there aren't remote jobs. There's a lot of remote work, but it's just the amount is is less amount than what we had during COVID, because I think during COVID, almost everyone was remote. So, but
Right.
there are jobs, that the cloud computing field is still relatively new, right? As more companies adapts to the cloud and putting their infrastructure in the cloud, there will only be more job. I don't have, is one of the field I'm very confident in, is like anytime I need to apply, I don't have doubts that I'm going to find a job that pays me the amount I want to make, and I'm going to live where I want to live. So there's cloud jobs. I mean, it's just giving yourself the best chance for the opportunity. And I think maybe some of the things which I don't know 100% to how to navigate is, let's say you are applying and you are not getting a call back. It's not because there aren't jobs, but it's maybe because now companies are probably even using AI to filter the resume. So you just have to make sure your resume meets the standard that allows your resume to be picked when they filter the resume.
That
But
is,
yes, sir.
I want to use a restroom very quick, please.
Okay. Okay.
1 second.
Yeah. So it's not because there aren't jobs. There are a lot of jobs, and maybe sometimes we don't hear back because they just filter the resume with AI, So
No,
um,
okay.
but there are jobs. I mean, trust me, you'll find jobs, especially you. You know what you're doing. You take your time to build your skills, and you've even using other platforms, other method to improve your knowledge. You'll get a job. It's only a matter of time. And I always tell people that don't it's it's not a matter of you not going to get a job. You will get a job. So sometimes the job process, and it is like that for everyone. Even if I start applying now, it will be the same thing. I don't think I'll just apply to a job and the first job I get, they hire me. I get a lot of rejections too, even when I do apply. So I think the job process is just like that for everyone. But as long as you persevere, you'll get a job. So
I agree. Thank you for that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think one of my major, confusion was whether to, showcase the project or not. And sometimes I want to read the room or the job description in
Mm-hmm.
general to see if it's aligned with what we've done before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why most of I kind of decide not to really ask whether I should showcase my project. But this particular one, I went to the job description. It wasn't asking for much, and they're asking for someone with 2+ years experience, which
Okay.
kind of fall between typically what we've done so far,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I've taken my time to say, okay, I've done a lot with Terraform, and I promise you, what we've done in your class is nothing compared to what is outside in terms of solid work.
Yeah.
And I feel it's something I can share. And I believe it's consistent with most environments,
It is.
right?
It
Uh,
is.
you see, because sometimes it's hard to articulate these things. Yeah, I've done Terraform models, TFS, and all these things. It's hard to articulate it in words, especially when you speak about them. But
Mm-hmm.
if you take your chance and say, hey, I've done this before, I can show you what I've done. And if God's willing, the hiring manager say, okay, sure, let's see what you've done. That way, you'll be able to break it down and say, this is why I did this. This is how I went about the networking components, which I also believe they said is a very big deal to any potential hiring manager or recruiter if you know a lot about networking within AWS. And the way you went about our project, I'll tell you, it's solid.
Yeah.
I don't
Thank
want
you.
to leave that one out of the window. I want to take
Yeah.
my chances and ask.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with you presenting the project, especially for a job that is requiring that much experience, right?
right.
Yeah, the projects will help you if given the opportunity to present it, and you present it and you're able to. So I think if you respond to the invitation email and you say, in addition to the interview, you would like to, if the time permits, you also like to share this personal, some of the projects you've worked on in the past, and you can include the reference architecture for the project. You can include the code to your the link to your GitHub repository. Make sure it is public so they can access it.
Okay.
Then you can just include a brief summary of the project, and
Okay.
yeah, and that would help you. That would help you because I can almost guarantee you they'll go and click on it and they'll check it out.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good idea. I never thought about putting the link on my GitHub to show for that. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's pretty
Well,
much it for
yeah,
now.
no problem. Well, best of luck to you. I'm sure you will do well, very well. With you, I don't have any doubts because you know what you're doing. So yeah,
Thank you.
it's only a matter of time.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Mr. Sonny, do you need help?
Yes, sir. Yes. I think maybe if you explain it for me, I'll probably go in and go search some more. But
Okay, sure.
I'm doing the dynamic websites with Docker and all that, and I got to the point migrating the data with Flyway and with the Flyway to RDS, and it got to migrating it, and I think I have some configurations wrong. And why that is on the class video, the flyway version you used is 9.8.1, but the current one they have now is 10.8.
Okay.
So there's some little configurations that are off there.
Okay. So do you remember, do you remember what type of error it is saying you were getting?
No.
Okay. So the next time you run it, send me the error so that way I can tell you. But the most error, I just ran Flyway migrate. When did I run it? As 2 days ago, it works. So let me share my screen and I can show you something. So the Flyway migrate command that we ran is in the Slack channel. Are you aware of that? So yeah, right. AWS DevOps. In the canvas here. This is the Flyway migrate command. This is the Flyway migrate command. So I need to check this because I think sometimes people.
Yeah, I did all those configurations.
Okay.
Like you were talking to Alex, that configuration right there is no. Yeah, I did all those configurations. Yeah.
Okay. So it will maybe if I know exactly what error you are getting, I will help you troubleshoot it. But when you are ready, let's do it. Let's have a session and we'll look at it because it works. So another question is, are you trying to use an EC2 instance or is it one you're running from your local directory?
I'm using an EC2 instance.
Okay. Yes, it works. So the version of Flyway doesn't really matter which one you use. You can use the one that I'm downloading here because this command has 9.2, or you can use or you can use whatever the current one is. And I do have the Flyway link here. So if you go to this link.
Okay. You mind if I share my screen? I think my VS Code is still on that.
Sure.
1 second. Let me get on my VS Code real quick.
Okay.
VS Code, this one. Oh no. Sure about that. Let me get on my VS Code.
Sure.
That's the VS Code. Okay. So on the video,
So
right?
so the one you are showing me now, you are running it from your local. This is not from an EC2.
Yes. Yes. So on the video, okay, this configuration right here is on this folder. I think that's where all my problem came from.
Okay. So and that's what I'm saying like instead of running it from your local, it is better to just run it from your VPC, from your EC2
From
instance.
my EC2.
Yeah. Because when you run it from local, you have to open SSH tunnel. Then when you open SSH tunnel, that's how you'll be able to connect to it.
You now connect, yes.
Yeah. But if your SSH tunnel, and a lot of people are having issues with that, not because the process doesn't work, but if you don't fully understand the process of opening the SSH tunnel, which is a little bit much longer and tedious, and I work, you probably won't use that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, work,
Okay.
you probably won't even use it at all, right? Because at work, it will be a more of a streamlined process where there will be one method that everyone can use. The EC2, migrating it from the EC2 or maybe like code build is a method everyone can use. You understand? So that's why I changed it from this method to just running it using your EC2.
Do the EC2.
Yeah. So let's scrap this method, right? You just have to upload your SQL file in an S3 bucket, right? So your V1 range zone DB SQL, you upload that in an S3 bucket, right? Then you run that command, the command that I just showed you on Slack.
The flyway command.
Yeah, you run that command on the you update your environment variables to the right credentials. And you run that command on the EC2 instance, and that should migrate it for you.
You mean these variables right here?
No.
And the environment variables, sorry. Yeah. Let me
yeah.
see that. Yeah, I have the environment variables. Let me see where I put those. Because I started running into this problem like 4 days ago or so, 5 days ago, and I just started forgetting a little bit of.
So I'm saying close this this one, don't even delete this folder. So we're not even going to use that one anymore, right? So I'm saying open a new file. Yeah, just create a new file here. Yeah, a new file is fine.
File?
Oh, I mean like new file, create a new file.
Okay. On my desktop or something?
Cancel and just, you can double click here. So click cancel. And just double click next to the welcome tab up there. Double click in that new space next to the welcome tab. So you see your welcome tab, move your mouse to the open space next to it. Yeah, and double click in there. Okay.
Okay.
Then copy the code that I gave you in Slack, paste it here.
So I didn't even get on these ones. Okay, which one of this one?
Yes, that's the code. Copy everything. No, all of it. No, you think that's not all of it. There's still more to it, all the way to the top. So everything in that gray thing, that's the entire code. Yeah, up to there.
Okay, to this bin bash.
right? So I'm saying here, the code is already written, right? You don't have to really do anything with it, right?
Yeah.
So all you need to do is change you just update your S3 URI up there, or you update your RDS endpoint.
So this code is what I'll use on the EC2.
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
And then update all this.
yeah. So when
And
you
then-
launch another EC2,
Mhm.
use the same security group that your web server or your app server security group.
Mhm.
You understand? Because
Yeah.
that security group already has access to the database. Right.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen. So I'll just show you.
Should I stop sharing?
No, it's okay. I can share.
Okay.
Then I'll just show you the reference architecture, and we'll just. Okay. So this is what our reference architecture looks like now. Well, this is the Docker one. Let me show the. Okay, this is what our reference architecture looks like, right?
Mhm.
So I'm saying that you already have the EC2 instance connect endpoint, right? So
Yes.
So what you want to do is you will launch another EC2 instance in your private subnet. It doesn't matter which one you pick, right?
Yeah.
This EC2 instance will also have the same security group as your app server,
Mhm.
because that security group has access to the
The
database,
database.
right? So that's what I'm saying. Once you launch that EC2 instance here, you will use the EC2 instance connect endpoint to SSH
To
into
get
it.
into. Mhm.
Then once you SSH into it, you will now run all those commands. But before you run the commands, make sure you've update your S3 URI, the URI of your S3 bucket, your RDS credentials. Then once you run all those commands on it, it should migrate your data for you. It's that simple and straightforward. So that's why the other one I was showing you guys, that one is the process in that one is kind of like some process that's a little bit confusing, but this is much straightforward.
Right. Right. This seems much more straightforward. So 1 second. Let's see.
You want me to stop sharing?
No. Your screen is fine. I want to see something. I want to see. Okay. Okay. And so the version of the flyway doesn't make any difference at all with this one. I think
Yeah.
with the way I was going, it made some difference.
You were doing it locally, so I'm assuming the issue you're having is your SSH tunnel issue. I don't think it doesn't have anything to do with the version.
Okay.
Just your SSH tunnel issue. So another thing to consider is, another thing you can do is, let me close this. Another thing is in the flyway documentation, right? Let me see if I can. Flyway documentation is here, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So this is the flyway. If you can use the latest one too, it doesn't matter. You can just
Right.
come here if you want to use the latest one. So this is the Linux command to download flyway.
Yeah.
So in this new one, so this is the command line. This won't download the zip folder for you. It would download the zip, but it will be on the EC2.
Okay.
So this is the command. This command is the same as, so if I copy that flyway, so here we are downloading Flyway, and here this is on line 16. This command allows us to run Flyway migrate from any directory. Before, we used to have to like change our directory into the SQL directory.
Okay.
But into the Flyway directory, but now we don't have to do that. We can run Flyway migrate from any directory. So that's what this does, right? On this version, why it was separate, but now if you choose to copy this new command they have here, that command will replace this and this
The both of them.
because they included it in one command now. So you can see this tar part, right? You can see this tar, not tar, but you can see tar ends where our previous command is, and they put and this. You can see it's two commands. Basically, what I'm trying to show you, it's like they have it two commands.
Okay, the and now continues with it.
And this thing keeps moving. I'm going to, okay, and that. So if I copy this, right, just to show you, and I put it here, you can see it's the same.
Yeah, the same, right?
Yeah. So in our command is two. We are running it in two, but they just did theirs in one. So if you do copy it from their documentation, just remember that you will just replace these two commands with one on theirs. So essentially yours will look like this.
Okay.
It will look like this. Right. Yeah. Then all you have to do is upload your V1 rent zone DB SQL in an S3 bucket. Then you'll put the URI of that S3 bucket here. Here, this is your RDS endpoint, your RDS database name, your RDS username and password, and that's all you need to do. So when you run this command on the EC2 instance, you SSH into it using the EC2 instance connect endpoint. You run this first, so you can run all this first, then run all the other commands one after the other. So don't copy everything and run it at once. It wouldn't work. For some reason, Amazon Linux 2023 doesn't really, I think there's probably something we have to do to be able to run our entire script, but for some reason it doesn't run it if you copy everything at once and paste it there. So you have to run this at once, run this, this, and all of this at once. So pretty much every command that I've titled, you'll run them one after the other. And it should work. It will work.
Okay, gotcha. And another one is what project is that? Let me see that project again. 1 second, please. Where I think it's the fourth project. The fourth project. I was having a couple errors trying to download my SQL 8.
It's probably your command. Are you downloading it on a Amazon Linux 2023 or are you downloading
2023?
it on, yeah, so remember that Linux has different type of Linux. They have different distribution, right? So a command that will work on one Linux distro might not work on another Linux distro. That is because sometimes they all download their packages from different repositories. So basically what I'm saying is like on Amazon Linux 2, whatever command we are using to download MySQL from the repository doesn't mean it's the same repository Linux 2023 is downloading from.
Okay.
So that means you have to find a command, the command for the repo, the right repo for 2023. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I think.
Okay.
I think.
But
Yeah.
I just did it. I'll give you the command. So it was kind of like it was also something I it was something I had to do because I'm updating the WordPress course now. And I'm updating all the courses to use 2023. So by the end of February, the dynamic project tool should be updated to all of them will be 2023. So I just finished recording the WordPress one. And this is the command to, I'll send you all the commands. So
thank you so much.
Because it is the same, you can use it for the same, you can use it for the dynamic web app too, although at least the software part, the part where we are installing software. Okay. So this is the command, right? So pretty much from here, sudo update. But for the dynamic, you don't need this part. You don't need this part. You don't need this part because we are not using EFS in that project.
Right.
So, but what you will need is here, install Apache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have those ones.
Install PHP. And this is the command that
The
I'm using to
MySQL.
install.
Yes. So I'll show you where I run into my problem. And I think is that GPG key, something with the GPG key that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just put this this RPM import from this repo, or you can skip the GPG key. I think Obina, his name is Obina, but on Slack his name is Wiz. If you search for his name, he had the same issue, but in his command he skipped the key because apparently you can skip it. You don't have to have it, but I always include it. So yeah, this is the command. This command will install MySQL 8 for you on Linux 2023.
Okay.
This is you, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
I think where the problem I was having was probably I was using the Amazon Linux 2 command.
The command, exactly.
Yeah.
So as you can see here, you can see the repo where the type how this is downloading the packages. It is using DNF, not YUM.
Not YUM, right?
Exactly. So for the different distros, they have specific ways they download their packages. So if you are trying to download a package, because you know that when we run this command, right, it is going into some type of repository and downloading stuff from there. So if you go and try to use YUM to download something on Linux 2023, that is not really in that repository, it's just going to give you an error. So that's just the issue. It's just like you understand what I mean?
Yeah. Can you scroll up a little bit? Let me see something. So, but installing, I see you used YUM, which is fine.
Where?
Installing the Apache.
Yes. So for this package, it probably still it use YUM, right? So for all of it, they use YUM, but you can see for PHP, the packages change where it gets installed from change to DNF.
Okay.
So some of the packages may still use YUM. Some of the packages may not.
Aziz.
Yeah.
Quick question. So is this the dynamic e-commerce project? Bash script?
No, WordPress. But
it will work.
It will work for the dynamic too.
Oh wow! I see a lot of changes.
So yeah. So if you are trying to install, so I'm saying is if you guys are trying to install MySQL, if you are trying to install Apache, PHP, and MySQL on Amazon Linux 2023, use this ones. This will work.
Okay.
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Because I was stuck on this thing, I felt like my whole world was coming apart.
Oh no. So it's just understanding that and the basic concept is based on whatever repository, based on whatever Linux distro you are using, the repository they download stuff from is maybe different. It's not always different, but maybe different. You understand? How can I say it? Look at Ubuntu, for example. Ubuntu, the command to download stuff from Ubuntu is not the same. That's because Yeah, exactly. To specify the repos where to download the packages from, that's the command you have to use. So the same thing goes for Amazon Linux 2023. When they create it, for all the packages you need to install, they are stored in a place, and the command that you have to use to download it from there is not yum. It is DNF.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but for Apache, it is still using yum. But for PHP, it is not. For MySQL, it is not. You understand?
Yeah. And again, when I got to the fourth assignment, not the project, there's fourth assignment, and I started seeing the flyway and everything. So I was trying to do it one after the other. I do one project. After I finish one of the videos, I'll go to the assignment and do it. So on the fourth assignment, I started seeing the flyway, and I've not seen that before. So I now skipped this one and went to the dynamic website and now saw the flyway right there. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was like,
So the concept is migrating your data. How do you
yeah,
want to migrate your data?
either with MySQL
Exactly. Either with MySQL or Flyway,
or
right?
flyway.
So when you are working on your assignment, I really don't mind how you migrate your data. The point is,
Okay. Okay.
the goal is that your data is migrated in the RDS, so you can be able to see your website at the end.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
Yeah.
thought I was going to go based on all your requirements.
Oh, I did tell you to use Flyway in there. Okay, so yeah, you can. If I did mention use Flyway. But I guess I'm trying to um make sure you guys learn the Flyway method, because most likely that will help you on the job. Even though
Mm-hmm.
using MySQL Workbench too works too,
Mm-hmm.
but the Flyway, I prefer that method because when we are doing CI/CD, that method is very easy to integrate into our CI/CD process.
Right.
Yeah, because this whole thing I just showed you about launching the EC2
Mm-hmm.
and using it to migrate the data, that's what we would do, exactly what we would do in the CI/CD process.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm just showing you different methods of migrating your data, but your job as a cloud engineer is you are solving problem. So
Right.
for the project, let's say you were working on it and you weren't familiar with the Flyway one yet, and you just say, you know what, I just need to migrate my data here. I'm just going to use my SQL Workbench. That's fine too.
Because that's what I wanted to do, but I was like, maybe I'm cheating. Let me do what you asked us
Yeah,
to do.
I'm glad you stuck with the Flyway one. Yes, so learn it. As you can see, it's much easier than using MySQL Workbench. Because
Right.
MySQL Workbench, you have to have a Bastion host. You have to have your key pair and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Flyway, you just launch your EC2 instance, SSH into it, run that command, done. Your data is migrated.
Hmm.
So it's much easier.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
no problem.
I feel free right now. I feel like going and doing the homework. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, so yeah, the WordPress course it will be updated probably like in the next week or two. And then the dynamic one should probably be like in another week or two. Then you guys will have the latest commands for Linux 2023. Because I think
Okay.
it's time to move away from Linux too.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Aziz.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Bye. Mr. Larry, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Let me share my screen.
Okay, let me stop sharing. Did you see my response to your comment?
You mean me?
Yes, in your screenshot you shared.
No.
Okay, so I saw in your IAM role main.tf, you have a typo in there.
IAM, this here.
Yeah, that one. You
But,
just minimize it. No, you minimized it, so you need to.
okay.
So your IAM role. Okay, there you go. You main.tf. So you see on line 45, you have a typo there.
45.
Did you see it? Sometimes what will give you the clue is the color, which is why I like Visual Studio Code. No, that's not it. It's a string. It's definitely a string. So leave the quote on it. What will give you the clue is the colors, right? So look at your var project name. You see that you're missing the $sign in front of it. That should be blue.
Oh,
So sometimes that is the clue. I just make sure the colors, whatever you are doing that is similar to each other, the colors always match.
yeah.
So that is the clue. Sometimes when you look at it and say, okay, I have my two brackets here. So why is the color not blue? Then you know you are missing something. So that's one of the reasons why I like Visual Studio Code. Yeah. So
But,
that was the first thing I caught, because you're trying to create your ARN, but by you not having that there, it is going to use that as a string instead of interpolating the value in it.
so why is Terraform specifying another place?
It says your ARN is wrong. Yeah, this is where you are creating your ARN.
Let me see.
So which is why when I saw your first message, I said, can you show what is in your main.tf for the ARN or your IAM role? Yeah. Okay. So now it is saying, you can see that one is gone. Oh, so the thing is, just delete your module. So in your delete your written ECS tax definition. All right, let's look in your ECS tax definition first. So go in the why do you okay, so can you close this one? Yeah, you can. Okay, that's fine. So where are you creating your tax definition? Scroll up. Scroll up. So yeah, that's your tax execution rule. But select the main.tf for your IA, the outputs.tf in your IAM role. Can you copy the outputs name? Let's see. The outputs name. And go back to that main.tf for ECS. and do Control F, Control F, Control F, Control V.
Control F, Control V. Okay,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, it's the same name. So the only issue you're probably having now is you need to, where is your project thing? So your Visual Studio Code is a little bit confusing to me. Can you minimize the module for now? Yeah, minimize those ones. Minimize the timeline. No, minimize the timeline. Open the rent zone ECS. Minimize the modules folder. No, that one is fine. Open that. In that, minimize the modules folder. Your folder structure is, I don't think your folder structure is right. Minimize the VPC. Okay, what about the VPC?
Oh, sorry, VPC.
Oh, okay, I see what's going on. That is just, minimize your .terraform. I see what's going on. Oh, you are making the change in the, this is your infrastructure thing. Minimize your .terraform one. Your .terraform, so up, the first one, minimize that. Okay, now it looks what? So where is your module?
My model is on the other.
Okay, so you are making the change from the wrong thing, that's why. So you need to go into your modules directory and make this change we just did.
Still the same thing here.
Okay. So in this module, right? Scroll up. So you need to change your IAM role. So that's the one you need to change. So go in your IAM, main.tf, and you need to update it there, line 45. All right, save it. All right, push your changes to your repository. Okay, no, you won't run it yet. So,
Oh.
Is this your
Yeah,
your other project, other project? Okay, yes. So, oh no, you're still in the Terraform modules because I can see it. So close the terminal here. Close this terminal.
Okay, close it.
No, not there. So you see where you have your terminal open. You see that trash can thing. Click on that trash can thing here. In your terminal where you have all those green Terraform is successfully initialized. Up there, right next to up there, you see that trash can logo.
Yeah.
Yes, click that to close it. That's gonna kill you. No, don't. Yeah. So if you do that, you are not closing the terminal. You are just you are not killing the terminal. You're just closing it. If you open the terminal again, like you just open your terminal, it will show back up. No, don't open it that way. Click cancel. Go select your file explorer over there. So that one. So you are in your modules folder now. Open another Visual Studio Code, then you can open your project on that one. Then you can go back and forth between the two.
How do I do that?
Right click on the Visual Studio Code logo down there and click New Window. So the Visual Studio Code, right click on it and New Window. Then close this. Let me show you something. Close this again and do the same thing again.
New window.
Anytime you open Visual Studio Code, it is going to show you all the past projects, the recent projects you worked on. So you can see your range zone infrastructure there. You can just select it. So this is how you open the two together. So your project is in one and your module is in another one. So maximize this one and you can see what I was telling you about the terminal. You see all the terminals you have open there. So in order to kill them, you have to click the trash can.
This one, delete.
Yeah, click it. All right. So now you delete your .terraform. So minimize this .terraform folder thing. In this directory, the one that's saying .terraform, minimize it and delete that folder.
This one.
Continue. It's because you have those, you made those changes in it. I'm still deleting it.
How did .terraform come to this side if I did not configure it?
AWS, that folder always gets downloaded when you run Terraform in it. So when you run Terraform in it, in order for Terraform to create the resources in your account, it would create this .terraform folder, and in it would put all the necessary configuration it needs to create your stuff. And another thing this .terraform does is it downloads your module that you are trying to use to deploy your infrastructure. That's why when you look in it, you were seeing the VPC module where you made the change. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's the point of this thing. When you run it, Terraform in it, it is going to your modules, downloading the modules and storing it in here. The reason why it is doing that is because when you run Terraform in it, to download when you are trying to apply your code. Instead of it going into your repository all the time to reference those modules, it will just copy it one time and put it in here. So when you run Terraform apply, it will just reference it from this Terraform folder. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's why if you delete it, when you run Terraform in it again, it's just going to re-download it again.
It's like a cache.
Exactly. So, but the issue you're having with deleting it is because you probably made the change in it. So it's trying to reference it. So let's delete it from, can you open this folder from where this repository folder is on your computer? Maybe we can delete it from there. It's the range zone infrastructure ECS1. All right, delete that Terraform folder. Continue.
Let me close the.
Close that Visual Studio Code. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Is your screen showing blank? Did it go blank?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Delete, yes. Try again. There you go. So delete that .terraform log HCL2, the one that's showing that one, yeah. All right, now open another window of Visual Studio Code again. Close all those main.tf thing you have open. That's just what that is saying. So all those files you have open up there. Yeah. All right. Now you see we deleted that file. So if we deleted that folder, so if you run Terraform in it again, it's going to re-download it. You can see that folder is there again. And if you change your thing to port, so you need to be in terminal. Yeah.
system.
So that issue is gone. So now you are having other issues. So this is just saying that you undeclared variables.
Subnet ID number form.
No, don't open it from there, because that is opening your, you're not supposed to change anything in that folder. So
I will do it
so
from
minimize this. We have to see what the error is saying first. No, minimize the .terraform folder. So it's just saying that your
the database subnet group. Subnet ID is this is private data subnet.
private data subnet. No, that's not how we reference it. So you just have to reference the course thing. So over there, I think the typo you have in there is you have a dot. It shouldn't be a dot. Oh, I see what you're doing. No, that's not how we reference it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Right. So we are just referencing the output. Remember I said you are trying to reference your database subnet ID, right?
Yeah.
For that one, right? So so go to your VPC module. I think it's down. It's the last one. The last folder. Yeah, your mouse was just there. Right. Scroll down in there and scroll down. Scroll down in there. Let me see what's in there. Okay. And select the outputs. Right. You can see the values you are exporting for your private data subnet. Is your private data subnet is the one, private data subnet is the 2 ID. That is what you enter in your RDS thing, not dot that. So what it is saying is here, right? That is the output for your data subnet. So one of the things in that error is your output, is your RDS. So go in your RDS, right? In your RDS file, then you will have to do the same thing for the rest of them, wherever it's saying it. So in your RDS main.tf, right? Then where you see where you are referencing your data, your subnet IDs. So let me show you how to reference it. Then you can do the same thing for the rest. So go into the project where you just had that error. All right. So it is telling you on main.tf, line 4 of the resource database subnet group, right? And it's telling you subnet ID, what you have there is wrong. It is saying that, right? So if you now go into the RDS main.tf, you see where it's telling you, it is saying modules, RDS, exactly, main.tf, right? So now you're going to the modules. Yeah, modules, yeah, minimize that. Modules is there. Modules, you're already in the modules. Now you are in the RDS main.tf. Click that. Line 4. You can see it. So that's how you troubleshoot it. So there you want to reference the variable you use to export your subnet ID exactly. So it will be var dat. And the same thing for your subnet ID for the AZ1. Remember that is done in the VPC module. In the output.tf. Line 53. That's the output for the AZ1.
I think this is correct, right?
No, the value is not the issue. The name you are referencing is the issue. Remember line 4.
It should be right. So
that's how you fix that. And you have to do the same thing for all the other ones that you may have referenced it wrong.
16. That is AWS snapshot. It is.
Manual, you have to, it needs to be a string. It's just typed there.
16.
So remember you have to go into the RDS main.tf line 16.
I can save it now.
Is that all the errors in there? There's still some at the top. So scroll to the top.
Yeah. With
So yeah, I think that's the same thing. You already fixed that one. Scroll up.
number 4.
Scroll up. Down. Operating family. So there's another error there. ECS main.tf line 30.
Yes.
All right, you can save all your work and
Push it to GitHub.
yes.
So I cannot make changes in infrastructure. I can only do it in modules.
You make the changes wherever the error is coming from. So if the error is coming from your infrastructure code, that's where you make the change. But in this case, the error is coming from your module. So that's where you make the change. It just depends on where the error is coming from. So you have to delete that .terraform thing again and re-download it. To re-download it, then you can run it. Right, so you just have to use the same method to continue fixing whatever the error is saying until you pretty much get all your typos resolved. You have a typo. You have a typo on it.
Yeah.
Line 59. All right. So, um, pretty much just continue to work on it. And so that you just have to continue to follow the same steps to work on it. I do have to go now, though.
Okay, no problem. Quick question before you leave.
Yeah.
The migration you are talking about, like we are migrating our data to using Flyway or ECN instance.
Yeah.
So is it the same process as migrating, like when you want to migrate a data in a database, read database like
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Postgres
So
or
the one we were talking about is when you migrate your data using MySQL Workbench, it's the same process. It's the same concept.
okay, like the one.
So it's pretty much, RDS instance is managed by AWS.
Yeah.
So when you create an RDS instance, sometimes you will need to put your own data. So your application, every application you host will have a data. Like the tables, the tables for the application.
Yeah.
So every application has a table, right? Has a database, right? But when you create a brand new RDS instance, AWS does not know what your data structure looks like. So you need to put your data structure for the application you are trying to host in the RDS. So that's why we are migrating it. So in the project you've completed, it's just the same concept. The same way you use when you use MySQL Workbench to upload the SQL script into the RDS database, is the same thing. It's the same process, not the same process, but the same concept as using Flyway. It's just different methods of how you can migrate your data.
Well, this is the same issue it was giving me earlier on line 21. I don't see AWS staff definition.
Which issue is that?
Yeah, it's the same. creating a cloud definition and say with modules, cloud definition, like on Terraform, you see there's resource AWS, still the same.
Module ECS. So we fixed all those. So you have to go into your, so where it is saying module ECS main.tf light 21.
Module. Module. Yeah.
So what is it saying? What was the error again? Can I say? Or is not valid? So go back to the module. I'll scroll down. Let me see. So scroll back up. So just make sure the output for that row is the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
So the var where you have var. So what did you export for your row?
Yes.
So IAM row.tf output. So you didn't export the ARN of the row. You are exporting the something else. So the value of what you are exporting is wrong. So you're supposed to export the ARN of your ECS tax execution row. Here you exported your ECS tax execution policy. So yes, look for your IAM row. That will be on line 58. That's what you need to export, but rather you export the line 52. So that's another error. So I mean, you just have to continue when troubleshooting your Terraform project, when you are having typos in your thing, is a big part of how you will learn Terraform.
Yeah,
So
right.
so that we got past that one. So this one is complaining about in your tax definition, your container image. So you just have to go and reference there and see what you put there and see try to find where the issue is and compare it to the video that I did and see what mine looks like.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, if you are not able to resolve it, send me a screenshot of your container definition for your ECS, your tax definition where it has your container definition area. So that's where it is complaining, but where you have your container image, most likely you probably what you are referencing there is wrong. It's probably you have a typo somewhere there. So but it seems like you're getting through it. So yeah, but it's 1 a.m. over here, so
Okay.
I do have to wake up for work tomorrow.
No problem. Thank you so much.
All
Thank
right,
you.
no problem.